I promised a Q and A. Let's get after it. Seth Levine asks, will the Knicks be active on the trade market? If so, who may be available? That's a great question. I think they probably will be, depending on where they are in the standings. And that's to say, if they continue like this and the team is really gelling together, they may look to just kind of upgrade a little bit, and try to push, further up the standings in the playoffs. Or if they're just on the outside of the playoffs looking in, they certainly will try to get better. I think they need to really look at the opportunities with potential free agents, but also younger players who could really, use extra minutes to help them in one certain area, and that certain area is driving to the basket. What they really miss right now is a player who can, when the ball bounces off the rim, get it and move the ball up the court. Calderon's not that guy. Grant could be that guy, but he's not that guy yet. Galloway's been okay at it, but he's more of a half-court, really super efficient shooter who can drive in secondary action. He's not a great transition guard. I don't believe yet. Grant and Galloway are certainly two guys you want to have moving forward on your team. But if you can get one of those speedy drive guards, I've mentioned guys like Ish Smith before. You have to kind of see what his deal could be. Not a big name, but a guy who could certainly help in the same fashion that like an Isaiah Thomas has helped with Boston. JD Basketball, my man, thoughts on the Knicks' offense efficiency in transition versus half court in the triangle? It's a great question, JD. Big fan. Just started following you, and look forward to catching up with you at some point in the city soon. It goes back to the same conversation that I had with, or just be answering that question of Seth's, and that's they don't have the guy who can get them quickly into transition and draw fouls at the rim. You saw it against Oklahoma City. You saw it against Houston, obviously, with Westbrook and Harden. You're seeing it in Detroit with Reggie Jackson. You're seeing it in Phoenix with Bledsoe. Guys who can just attack the basket off of missed shots and even makes, leads to more efficiency, because what you're doing is you're attacking the defense when they're backpedaling. You're attacking the basket and drawing fouls. And we all know efficiency is about not shooting a lot and also getting to the free throw line. So makes without taking a lot of volume shots plus free throws and at free throw attempts leads to more offensive efficiency. As far as the triangle goes, I think they've been really good, because what Porzingis has brought to the team is every shot is a potential assist attempt. And by that I mean he can put back missed shots by easy baskets and dunks, or offensive rebounds, putbacks, and fouls. So in addition to having exceptionally, and this is the truth because Calderon has been exceptional from an efficiency standpoint over the last 6-7 games. He's shooting almost 70% from three, mostly all in catch and shoot situations. He's very similar to what Jason Kidd brought to them in 2013, 2014. I'm sorry, 2012, 2013, when they won 54 games and they won in the playoffs, or at least one playoff series. What the league caught up to eventually with Kidd was that he was a big pump fake guy and had a slow release, and once they took that away, then they really limited his offensive effectiveness, specifically from three. Calderon is younger. He gives you that. Very, very smart player. Galloway is learning from Calderon and has been exceptional as well. So you have a great offensive scorer, not the most efficient player in Carmelo, but he certainly is a tremendous scorer. You like to see him get to the free throw line with a few more foul calls. But their offensive in both transition, just okay, but in the triangle, getting better. If they could just somehow, if it's Grant or whomever, just get the ball up the court and attack the defense and get them to backpedal, then they'll be much better in transition. From a triangle perspective, I think it's been pretty good thus far, and it's because of Porzingis and the play from the guards. Keith Kill, why does Fisher seem to sub KP out in crunch time, even if he's playing well? It's a great question, and I'm not sure it's accurate 100%, but I think early on you saw Fisher really protect Porzingis and his minutes and his legs. So look at the case in Houston. And the night before, when they were in Oklahoma City, he did protect KP, and he just, he wasn't 100% there from a leg strength perspective. And I think he will be going forward as long as it's managed and monitored. He's a young player. He's got young legs. And the same is true with Galloway and Grant and Early, who obviously hasn't played that many minutes. But you have to protect these guys, these young guys' legs, because they're going to hit a wall. And the basketball season is a grind. Anybody in the league will tell you that. You just have to manage it properly and keep the momentum going. They've got a lot of momentum right now. So what I liked is they didn't force KP against the Thunder. They still got the win, and then he had really fresh legs and played an extraordinary game. Probably his best all-around game. I know he had the 29 points the other day, but he had an incredible all-around game. When you think about making 8 field goals, when you think about double-digit rebounds, 7 blocks, and making a couple of threes, first player to have done that. Thank you, Tommy Beard. First player to have done that since Tim Duncan. Just extraordinary. And you have to take the good with the bad. And by that, I just mean if his legs aren't there, then you've got to pull him off the court and save those minutes. My man Doink. With many teams going small, how about a lineup of 3 guards plus KP and Melo? And I think that's certainly going to be the plan going forward, depending on matchups. If a team wants to play you in the half court and not have the great pace, which I think is most of the Eastern Conference, then you need a Calderon in there. You definitely need Galloway in there, and you probably need another rebounder in there, whether it's Lopez or whether it's Serafin or O'Quinn. I think the 3 guards. If you want to talk about Grant, Galloway, Aflalo, KP, and Melo, is probably going to be their best 5. And I would even go as far as to say if you can get that speedball type of guy who's going to just get the rebound and attack, and allow 4 guys to stay back as they do their thing at the rim, then, to me, you could go that player. You could go Grant, Galloway, Porzingis, and Melo. And be a real problem from a pace perspective, because now you can let Melo play at his own pace, and you can let Porzingis play at his own pace. And if you want to sub Porzingis for Lopez, you can let Lopez play at his own pace, because you can just let the guards, get out and go crazy, and then you can get secondary action and secondary transition, and then get into your set and make sure that you have a real efficient possession. But that's why I love Porzingis and or Calderon rather. And my man, Coach Nick, called us out, and it was a perfect thing, because I had something maybe about a week before about what Calderon brings. There's 6 guys in the history of the NBA who have, for a season, averaged 4 assists to 1 turnover, which is every time you have an assist, obviously, you only turn the ball over once, which means what? It means you're going to have a great possession. It means you're going to have limited turnovers from that position, and you're guaranteed what's probably going to be a pretty good shot. There's 6 guys, 2 of whom, 1 Calderon, 2 John Paxson. So John Paxson obviously had great success in the triangle, and Calderon did too. And Calderon did something amazing the other night. I wish I had the video of it. I don't. But he in transition, he called the matchup, and I think it was Porzingis who had the matchup on Harden, and he had him down on the block, got him the ball. They didn't make the shot, but as the team was coming up the court in transition, he saw that there was a mismatch, got the ball down. He's a very, very smart player, caught a lot of flack early on from Knicks fans, but is playing great. As always, thanks for the questions. We'll catch you next time. I'm Tommy D.